And you're giving F9 a hard time? Let's review Black Widow. Black Widow stars Scarlett Johansson, Florence Pugh, David Harbour, Rachel Weisz, and is directed by Kate Shortland. Okay, what's up guys? I just got back from the theater. I saw Black Widow finally. This movie was supposed to come out last May 2020. And we all know what happened there, but it's finally here. And was it worth it? No, I don't think so at all. And it was actually worse than I thought it was gonna be. And I wasn't like super hyped for this movie at all because, you know, when you have a movie as big as Avengers Infinity War and Endgame, and by the way, those two movies are probably two of my favorite comic book films ever. I consider myself a DC guy, but I know a good movie when I see a good movie, and those two are phenomenal. Couple reasons why I wasn't like jazzed about this one is because the timing. It should have came out before those two movies because we all know what happens to Black Widow, Natasha, in Endgame. And the other reason for me anyway is it seems like Marvel's like standalone movies, non-Avenger movies, for the most part, it seems like they just don't really do that much for me. Even the Spider-Man movies, I'm just not really a big fan of, you know, Homecoming and what is it called? Far Away From Home? I can't even remember what it's called anymore. Hold on, let me correct myself while I'm editing real quick. I said single movies. Yes, I love freaking Winter Soldier. Incredible Hulk, I think it's highly, highly underrated. Iron Man, so I guess I'm wrong there. There are a lot of good Marvel single character movies for sure, okay? So don't lynch me on that one. Let me open a monster though, because I have a little bit of a headache and I have some thoughts. And first off, before we get to those thoughts, quick plot synopsis. I always give you that. This takes place between, I believe, Civil War and Infinity War. Natasha is on the run. You know, she's not near the Avengers. She mentions the Avengers a couple times in this. But she's after this guy, Dreykov, played by Ray Winstone, who figures into her past when she was young. And he's kind of one of those, I guess, like sex trafficking guys, even though he's not sex trafficking. He's Black Widow trafficking. He has all these Black Widow women, and he's controlling all of them to pretty much like take over the world, I guess. I don't know. That's what I gathered from it. It's kind of a one-dimensional plot, if you ask me. Or maybe that's just because a lot of what was going on in the character department was very one-dimensional. But along the way, she reconnects with her sister when they were very young. They were separated. And the first thing they do when they see each other is they have this really great hand-to-hand combat scene, and you know, her sister tries to kill her, which that was a big scratch in my head. Like, why are you trying to kill somebody who you haven't seen in that long, and they happen to be family? This scene was clearly here just to showcase a good fighting scene. That's pretty much it. It was very good hand-to-hand combat. We'll get into the pros. But her and her sister, Yelena, I didn't even say her name, they team up together to break out her father figure, Alexia, played by David Harbour, and he plays this character, I guess they call him Red Guardian. He has this fixation on Captain America. He's kind of like the Russian version of Captain America. And so there's some family moments along the way, you know, I guess rekindling or battling each other, and they come together to fight Dreykov. Okay, this was one of those movies, after I left the theater, I was annoyed, and by the time I got home, I was just like, that was garbage. Have you ever done that? Like, it kind of percolates as you go along, and then you realize you just wasted 2 hours of your life. I guess there's a hint from my rating on this. But that's kind of what happened with this for me. I feel like I will never, ever, ever, ever watch this again in my entire life. And let me tell you why. You know, yeah, we'll start off with the cons. And because I kind of did mention the pros, the hand-to-hand combat scenes are really good. And a big shout out to stunt performers, okay? You guys, what you guys do, putting your body through what you do. There's scenes in this movie, I'm like, I guarantee you that stunt performer, he had a bad day. He was hurting that night. I guarantee you he was taking aspirin, Tylenol, Naproxen, whatever you have to take, you know, because, yeah, there was some pretty heavy hand-to-hand combat, but they were very well done scenes. So not taking away any of that. Yeah, there's some nice action sequences in here too. So yeah, that's your good, okay? That's about it for me. But really, Since we're on the action, remember like recently everybody is just slamming F9, including myself, for just how preposterous it is with the action. By the way, I have not seen F9, okay? But I'm not surprised. I've seen a lot of the Fast movies, and ever since Part 5, they're just ridiculous. 5's a good movie, don't get me wrong, but yeah, they just, what they go through in that movie, they're pretty much superheroes at this point. And I know you're gonna say, Lee, but this is a superhero movie, but Natasha Romanoff has no superpowers whatsoever. She's pretty much like Batman, what Batman does. Is she a skilled fighter? Absolutely. Is she one of the greatest fighters on the planet? Absolutely. Would she have survived even the first action sequence in this movie? Hell no. Hell no. There are so many scenes in this movie where I was just like, are you kidding? Like I have a headache right now because one example, there's this car chase that's just insane, and she gets into a car accident with her sister. And that car literally, it would have gotten less damage if it was picked up by a fucking dinosaur and shaken, you know, and slammed against the ground over and over. Because that's what happened to this car in this movie. It was thrown all over the place. And then what happens after it's upside down in like a subway area or whatever? Natasha walks out and she's pretty much got like a paper cut. Multiple scenes like that in this movie. Look, I love a good action movie, guys, okay? And I can take my brain out of my head and have a good time, but you gotta meet me halfway there. If I'm just rolling my eyes constantly at this person who has no superpowers whatsoever, it just takes me out of the movie. It really does. I don't even have to bring up the scene where she's flying in the sky and she's bouncing from foundation to foundation and fighting while she's doing all this stuff. No way in hell. And she lands on the ground like it's no problem whatsoever. She falls from buildings in this movie and gets up almost unscathed. And again, you can scream at me and say, Lee, this character has been in all the Avengers movies. She does the same things. I don't think to this level. I think she had a lot of the other Avengers to fall back on. And I don't think, yeah, she might have like teetered on the line and maybe crossed over it a little bit, but this was just like preposterous. This was just way over the line. And maybe it's because I just didn't care about any of the characters in this movie too, you know? Marvel has a problem with comedy in their movies. I'm saying it right now, there's your elephant in the room, because when it works and it's great and you're laughing your ass off, but when it doesn't work and it's just constant failed humor throughout the entire movie. Call it, you know, bad writing, call it subjective humor, call it whatever you want. But for me, it just didn't work. I was annoyed with it. And it's like, I want my audience to laugh for 15 minutes straight. And then I want to plug this scene in here where we have a nice heartfelt moment and everybody in the room cries. And then let's laugh again. And then let's plug this massive action sequence again in here. And then let's laugh some more. And let's have another tender moment where everybody cries. And I love emotion in movies, guys. Don't get me wrong. I don't care what the genre is, but you gotta build those characters. You gotta make me care. If I don't care, then it's not gonna work. And you know what? Movie making, it's not easy, okay? You could say that there is magic involved. I don't know what it is to make your audience really get invested in the characters and feel like they are friends with them. Feel like you want to go on this journey with that character. It's not an easy thing to do for any director. So I would not knock any director that puts out a 2-hour film that just doesn't land. Again, I think it's magic. I don't know what it is, but more times than not, the magic is not there. That's what happens with movies like this. They're forgettable. They're cheeseburger movies, and you don't care. And if you want me to be more specific on the characters, I'll talk about David Harbour for a second. David Harbour is a great actor. He was awesome in Stranger Things. I literally sat right in front of the guy on set. Really nice guy, but I can't really blame him. He did the best he could for this part, but they just kept giving him these comedic moments that, for me, just did not land at all. I found him annoying for most of the movie, and he gets his ass kicked throughout most of the movie. So he was the character that I was looking forward to the most going into this as well. I thought he was going to be the scene stealer because that's what I had heard, but I found myself just annoyed with him. The best character in here, I think, is Natasha, Scarlett Johansson. You know, she is great in this movie, and I think it would have been better if she was, you know, alone throughout the entire movie, or maybe just teamed up with her sister. But once the father figure and Rachel Weisz joined the mix, then I just didn't care. Ray Winstone, another amazing freaking actor, but this was just such a cliche villain that just doesn't leave a mark, you know? It's bad when you have a villain that is just very stereotypical. You can't really get behind their reasoning, and those are the best villains, the ones where you can kind of see where they're coming from. This guy, not at all. You want to see a damn good Ray Winstone movie? Sexy Beast, okay? You're welcome. Sexy Beast is amazing. You're going to get one of the best villain performances by Ben Kingsley, who plays Don Logan. I should just talk about Sexy Beast from here on out, because that movie is really, really fucking amazing. And this is the opposite of that, okay? I've talked too long about this movie. I'm getting annoyed with it. I'm giving it 2 hours lost. Damn it!